It was a moment steeped in significance, one marked by the convergence of history and divine purpose. The night before the Jewish festival of Passover, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the city of Jerusalem, Jesus gathered his closest companions in an upper room. This meeting would not be an ordinary meal. It was a farewell gathering filled with profound meaning. The atmosphere was charged with tension and anticipation, for Jesus knew that his time on earth was coming to an end. He could feel the weight of destiny upon him, a weight that was both heavy and resolute. The disciples, while oblivious to the gravity of the situation, sat around the table, engaging in light conversation, unaware that this would be their last meal together with their teacher. As they reclined at the table, Jesus took a loaf of bread in his hands. The aroma filled the air, and the disciples looked on, curious. With intent clarity, he broke the bread, handing pieces to them while saying, "This is my body, given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." His voice carried a heaviness, a deep sense of purpose. While the disciples took the bread, they could not possibly comprehend the full weight of his words, the symbolism of sacrifice and nourishment that would echo through the ages. Next, Jesus lifted a cup filled with wine, its deep red color resembling the blood he was about to shed. "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." Again, confusion lingered in the room, but Jesus remained undeterred. He knew that the road ahead would be one of betrayal and suffering, and yet he would walk it willingly, for love compelled him. As the meal progressed, Jesus shared his final teachings with the disciples, imparting wisdom and urging them to love one another, just as he had loved them. He spoke of servitude, exemplifying humility by washing their feet, a profound act that would resonate deeply in their hearts, even when they struggled later to understand its significance. He was preparing them for the trials ahead, demonstrating that true greatness lies in serving others. Later that evening, after the meal had concluded, Jesus led his disciples through the moonlit streets of Jerusalem to the Garden of Gethsemane, a place he often retreated to for prayer. The air was thick with anticipation, yet the stars above bore silent witness to the turmoil that would soon unfold. Once within the garden, a sense of foreboding enveloped Jesus. He could feel the depth of what lay before him. He asked his disciples to remain awake and pray with him, recognizing the monumental struggle he was about to face. As he withdrew a short distance to pray alone, he fell to the ground, a posture of deep anguish. "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." The words escaped his lips, revealing the inner turmoil, the battle raging not against flesh and blood, but against the very essence of fear and anguish. In his moment of desperation, Jesus felt utterly alone. He wrestled with doubt, uncertainty, and the anguish of impending separation from the Father. The weight of the world rested upon his shoulders. He returned to find his disciples asleep, their eyes heavy with slumber, unable to comprehend the urgency of the moment. "Couldn't you keep watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked gently, the disappointment clear in his voice. They stirred but quickly dozed off again, leaving Jesus to confront his destiny in solitude. Seconds stretched into minutes, and minutes into hours, as he continued to pray fervently. His sweat became like drops of blood, mingling with the earth as the reality of suffering pressed down upon him. In that quiet garden, a cosmic battle raged, the path of obedience against the very human desire to escape suffering. Yet, even amidst his anguish, Jesus remained resolute. Suddenly, torches flickered in the distance, illuminating the darkened path as a group approached. Soldiers, led by Judas Iscariot, the very disciple he had chosen and trusted, emerged from the shadows. Judas had betrayed him for a handful of silver, sealing Jesus' fate with a kiss, a gesture meant to identify him to the guards. In that moment of betrayal, Jesus did not resist. He did not flee or fight back. Instead, he stepped forward into the light, surrendering himself willingly to fulfill the divine plan of salvation. "Do what you came for," he instructed Judas, calmly accepting the fate that awaited him. The disciples, initially bewildered, sprang into action, attempting to defend their master. But Jesus, with a gentle hand, calmed their fears. "Put away your sword," he said, for he understood that strength lay not in violence but in submission to the will of the Father. As they took him away, the weight of sorrow settled upon the disciples. Their hearts quaked with confusion and fear. They had walked alongside him, witnessed his miracles, and listened to his teachings, yet they failed to grasp the depth of his mission. They scattered like sheep without a shepherd, the fear of persecution overpowering their loyalty. Sparkles the meaning of Easter. This profound story encapsulates the essence of Easter and the boundless love of God. It speaks of betrayal, pain, and sacrifice, but also of hope, forgiveness, and life. Jesus understood and accepted his impending fate because he envisioned a world liberated from the chains of sin and death. Through his willingness to endure suffering and sacrifice, Jesus paved the way for humanity to reconnect with the divine. His broken body and spilt blood became the bridge that would restore the fractured relationship between God and humanity. This act of unconditional love echoes through time, calling each person to remember the depth of his sacrifice and the beauty of his forgiveness. In the days that followed, after his crucifixion, the tomb would stand empty, the ultimate symbol of victory over death. Easter is not just a moment in history, it is a transformative journey from despair to hope, from darkness to light. It serves as a reminder that no matter how lost we may feel, there is a path to redemption and eternal life through faith in him. Jesus' actions in the garden and at the Last Supper laid the foundation for a new covenant, a promise of grace and love that endures through the ages. As we reflect on this powerful narrative, may we embrace the gift of remembrance given by Jesus. Let us keep his love alive in our hearts, striving to live in a way that mirrors his example, embodying love, grace, and compassion in our interactions with one another. For in doing so, we fulfill the call to remember him and share his light with the world. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any exciting news stories and updates. We look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Have a great day, glowing star.